Hello everyone, welcome to my channel where we talk about the things we love like gaming, shows, and anime. You know those moments when you can already tell that the next fight you're watching is gonna be a straight up ass kicking? Well, here's a list of those moments where we got an overpowering character going up against someone who clearly does not stand a chance. But before we begin, I want to give a shout out to JJ Huckabye, Dragon LZ, Real Vinyl Scratch, if I'm saying that right, Emmanuel Rancy 2, and Destroyer of Destiny. I'm glad you guys enjoyed tuning into my channel, and let's hope to have a good time with these next upcoming videos. Now, let's begin. Number 10. Whis vs Goku and Vegeta. This may have been a sparring match for Whis, but Goku and Vegeta were going all out with no chance of getting a single hit on Whis. This was a great moment to demonstrate how badass Whis can be. This is probably why he is the calmest character we know so far, because he is the strongest, possibly not the strongest god we've seen so far, but I hope we never lose this guy, because for me, he's the most interesting character so far. Number 9. Frieza vs. Nail. Nail was a serious looking character, and he looked a lot like Piccolo, so we thought he was going to be a tough fighter. And according to Dende and Guru, he is one of the strongest Namekians around. But since he took on Frieza, and Frieza was an overpowering opponent, we really couldn't tell. He wasted too much time by Guru's side instead of fighting Frieza's forces to defend most of the villages. I guess in some way he did make himself useful by giving his power to Piccolo, but yeah, his fight against Frieza, big loss by going up against a major overpowering opponent. Number 8. Krillin vs. Kid Buu. Kid Buu was able to go into the other world where all the dead fighters were. Most of the fighters there were blown away by his power, and since Krillin was there, he decided to take him on. For some reason. Did he put up a challenge? Hell no. He was brave for taking him on, but definitely stood no chance in putting up a fight. The most Krillin could do is use his solar flare, but that's just it. The Destructo Disc can't do shit to Bubblegum, so he's done. Blinding him temporarily is the best thing he can pull off at the moment. I mean, unless everyone else joined in and jumped a little punk, but in the end, Kid Buu kicked his ass. Number 7. Imperfect Cell vs. the football team. I find this to be hilarious, probably one of the funniest filler moments for sure. You get this football team, or rugby team, I can't really tell by the way they look. What were these guys thinking in the first place? Deciding to take him on. I mean, does he look like your average citizen? If you ever see a green man-sized looking grasshopper walking around sucking people dry, not in a good way, you gotta back the fuck off. And, I mean, just give this guy directions. Or tell him you got cancer and hopefully he leaves you alone. Sucks for these guys because they never stood a chance, but hey, they got teamwork. That's for sure. But do they have a brain? I don't think so. Number 6. Fat Boo vs. Supreme Kai. Supreme Kai was like the weakest of all Kais, which is a sad disappointment because when he was first introduced, they made him out to look like a very mysterious strong opponent. I mean, even Piccolo refused to fight him in the World Tournament. I was thinking, this little guy must be the shit, but after seeing how easily Majin Buu took him down with the pimp slap, I kinda laughed. Supreme Kai ain't so supreme once you get to know the guy. Majin Buu took down many characters when he first showed up, but the one character who got the most humiliating punishment was Supreme Kai. Getting sat on by this fat man-child, I mean, he barely took any hits, but it was more than enough to take this Kai guy. Number 5. Cell vs. Mr. Satan. I'm sure this is everybody's favorite moment. Back when Mr. Satan needed to be taught a lesson, and I guess he still needs a good butt kicking every once in a while. But in the Cell games, for some reason Cell wanted to create a tournament where everyone would take him on. Sounds ridiculous, of course. Even as a kid, I was confused to why he would make a tournament with rules like you step out of the arena and you lose. What happens if he steps out of the arena? Would he seriously admit that he lost and straight up leave Earth unharmed? Anyways, Mr. Satan was one of the early competitors and he thought he could take him on. We were glad he tried. Come on, you gotta admit it was hilarious seeing him punch and kick Cell, and then Cell just slaps him like a mile away from him, crashing onto a mountain. Oh, Cell, you are hilarious. Number 4, Broly vs. Z Fighters. Man, this guy just wants a spot at most of my top 10 lists. Broly was the one and only almighty powerful legendary Super Saiyan, so of course he had to make it on this list. Nobody was ever prepared to take him on, and if he ever took on his opponent seriously and went all out, who knows whether he'd ever find an opponent worthy enough to take him on and, put up a challenge. I'd like to see Broly take on Whis or Beerus with all his strength. That would either be really epic or have the same results as Goku Super Saiyan 3 against Beerus. I know I'd love to find out. Number 3, Tien vs. Super Buu. Tien is a really good character in the series. He's extremely buff, and although he never wins a fight anymore against the main threats, well, that's just it. He's not strong enough to take on the main threat of each saga anymore. So the moment we saw him take on Semi-Perfect Cell, we knew he was doomed. Surprised that he was able to distract Cell while the androids escaped, but definitely not someone that could put up a fight against him. So when he randomly appeared to the aid of Gohan, Dende, and Mr. Satan, we were slightly disappointed with seeing who the savior of the moment was. Number 2, Beerus vs. Goku Super Saiyan 3. As said in number 4, Goku Super Saiyan 3 taking on Beerus was a major overpowering moment. Goku may have been a very powerful fighter in his Super Saiyan 3 form, but once we were introduced to Beerus, he made Super Saiyan 3 look like Yajirobe. This makes me wonder, will Zenkai boosts even make a difference against the power of the gods? I'm talking about one of these gods, not like the Kais. Those guys suck. The question I had throughout the fight was, if Goku Super Saiyan 3 was easily defeated with only 2 hits, with Beerus going easy on him, then how much power does this guy have when he goes all out? Number 1, Raditz vs. the Farmer. Yes, go on and laugh. I know I did. But you gotta admit that in the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, when we were first introduced to Raditz, we weren't sure how strong he was, but we definitely knew that he'd be a lot stronger than Goku. And if this guy could easily take down Goku and Piccolo, then this lonely farmer clearly stood no chance. I mean, unless he got a sneak attack on Raditz, and he didn't see it coming like Goku in Resurrection F, then maybe he's not so overpowering after all. Oh boy, I am not going to be able to let that one go. But all jokes aside, this guy was fucked from the start. I mean, he was riding a Chevrolet. He wasn't going to get far. Well, that's it for the top 10 list. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, put a thumbs up. And if there are any other videos you'd love to request, please let me know in the comments. Also, if you want to shout out a video request or you want to ask me a question for the next Q&A video, I strongly recommend you post it on my Facebook page. And if you want to see more of my videos, be sure to hit the subscribe button because it really helps me out a lot. And I'll be sure to let you know when I post up more videos. This is Score saying, have an awesome day.